Support for Steppin Out comes in part from the Kristovich family in honor of Mary Lou and Bill Kristovich. This program is sponsored in part by the Eugenie and Joseph Jones Family Foundation, a local foundation proud to support the arts and culture in the greater New Orleans area.
I'm Peggy Scott Laborde, and welcome to Steppin Out, with updates from the local restaurant, arts, and entertainment scenes. Joining me, Poppy Tucker, host of Louisiana Eats on WWNO Radio. Hey, Miss Poppy.
Hello, Peggy.
Doug MacCash, who covers the arts and culture scenes for the Times-Picayune New Orleans Advocate. Hello, Doug. Love the blue tie. Alan Smason of theatercriticism.com. Hello, Alan. And also, of course, the Crescent City Jewish News. Hey. Tim McNally is with us. It's been a while. Author of the new book called The Sazerac. Yes, indeed. And he's also the host, though, of the Dine, Wine, and Spirits Show, daily radio show, weekdays 4 to 5 on WGSO 990 AM. Hello, Tim. Hi.
And Peggy, how are you?
Good, thank you. And Poppy, there's still time left for some festive imbibing, isn't there?
Well, Merry Christmas, Peggy.
Yes,
and if
Merry
you're like
Christmas.
me and you just don't want Christmas to come to an end this year, well, I know where you can have a Christmas miracle for the next week. It doesn't have to end today. And that's at Barrel Proof, which is in the 1200 block of Magazine Street. Once again, the Christmas miracle has popped up there, and that's happening from 4 till 11 daily, every day, right through New Year's Eve. And oh my goodness, the cocktails they have waiting for you there. Not only is the place decorated like the most kitschy Christmas whatever that you can possibly imagine, but all the drinks are themed that way and come in these outrageous containers. And so, for instance, they have the Yippee-Ki-Yay, and that little drink, that continues, but we're not going to say that. It's 4 rums and a pumpkin almond orgeat syrup, so that's enough to make you say Yippee-Ki-Yay. There's also a Jingle Bell Nog. There is a mistletoe shot, so there's special holiday shots too. That's rye whiskey with gingerbread spice. And then the most hilarious, how about a Santee Rex? There's a lot of tequila in that drink too, so I don't know, maybe that has something to do with the flames in the background. But a lot of Christmas fun to be had at the Christmas Miracle, continuing all this week at Barrel Proof. And then the Jewel of the South. If you have never been to the Jewel of the South down on St. Louis Street, oh, is this a fun thing that they've got planned for New Year's Day. So you don't want New Year's Eve to end? Well, between 1 and 5 p.m. New Year's Day, they're having their Toddy Bazaar. It's just $20, and there'll be bartenders from Long Way Tavern, French 75, Canaan Table, and Latitude 29, all popping up doing special drinks there. There are New Year's Eve reservations available there at 10 p.m. and 11 p.m., but we're going to talk more about New Year's Eve in the next segment.
Okay, thank you so much. And over to Doug. And Doug, even though I know we're still kind of in the Christmas mode, of course, being Christmas Day, we're also looking ahead to Carnival, aren't we?
A little early in the season, but if it's crossed your mind, what will Carnival 2021 look like? That question was answered in part up on Toledano Street last week, where the crew of Red Beans debuted the first of their Hire a Mardi Gras Artist project houses. And this is the first float-style house decoration that we've seen this year. Now, this is an idea that's been in the air. Both the Crew de Vue and the crew of House Floats had a notion that there would be do-it-yourself house floats for Carnival this year. But the Red Beans, the crew of Red Beans, made it into a fundraiser to support out-of-work Mardi Gras artists. And here's how it works. You make donations to a GoFundMe campaign run by the crew. When they reach $15,000, then they decorate a house. They choose which house to decorate by a lottery. So if you've made a donation, your house has a chance of being decorated. There's no minimum to the lottery. And if this house looks a little like maybe Coup d'etat or Rex, it's because the person who came up with the idea is Carolyn Thomas, who works ordinarily for Royal Artists, the float builder that creates those parades and others.
Absolutely. And, you know, and it's so clever. And that one was what, Dr. John the Night Tripper, or an homage to the Night Tripper?
Yes, on an adjacent house, there's a huge mural of Dr. John, mural portrait. So they keyed the house to that, and it's wonderful.
So clever. Thank you so much. And moving over to Alan, there is an update to the Infringe Festival, isn't there?
Well, absolutely. You know, when they first started to plan the Infringe Festival for this year, they had to figure out how in the heck we're going to do an in-person event, and how do we do it virtual. But also, given the Black Lives Matter protests and all that we went through the past summer, how do we make this more inclusive and perhaps give a step up, or a leg up, if you will, a hand up to some of the burgeoning people out there who are looking to get involved in the arts. And so what they did was they had what they call a BIPOC Festival of Films. They came up with the grant money to enable some of these burgeoning artists, these people who are looking to get started in film and perhaps advance their crafts in some way. And what they did was they gave them the monies to do the projects, and they're putting them online now. And if you go to infringefest.com, they're going to be having two films that came out of this whole process. One is called Speakeasy, and the other one's called A God Called Bee. And I won't go any further than that. But I will tell you that it is, again, very, very thought-provoking films. And once the festival is over, once you've paid $10 per film, that's $20 for both films, but you can do them individually if you don't want to get the other one. Either way you go, that's going to be, you know, the way that they're going to do it this year. And again, you'll be able to see these artists actually own these works after it's all over with. Moving on, though, Peggy, I should let you know that John Broder, who's the executive director of Infringe, will be with us as a guest on the NOLA Theater talk show. John, of course, is going to be seen along with all the other places that we stream that to, and he'll be talking about what's going on with that. You can check out all the different sites that I basically live stream to right here in the full screen there. You can see the NOLA Theater Folk Facebook group and the theatercriticism.com Facebook page, etc. on YouTube. Now, meanwhile, Christmas is still here. Of course, we're enjoying the day, but you know it's going to continue for another week, because if you missed it and you wanted to find out how in the world you can see the Christmas Spectacular with the Radio City Rockettes, well, you don't have to look any further than Peacock, because it's all showing for free. You can see the entire Radio City Music Hall production with all of the big numbers and the Rockettes, all for free. It's streaming live, if you will, on tape. But it's just like being there, except you don't have to stand in line and wait with all the other people. And you can enjoy it with the kids, all on Peacock. Other Christmas shows coming up, I have to let other people know about as well. We have Melissa Errico. She's got two opportunities to see her and to listen to her. One is a piece called Season for Joy, which, of course, is available on demand. It's a benefit for the Bay Street Theater, and it's $25, but a really well-done work. And
I watched it, Alan. It was great. So let me chime in.
Yes. And then, of course, Melissa is one of the character actors in Meet Me in St. Louis, which is being put on by the Irish Repertory. It's on demand till January the 2nd. A suggested donation of $25, but let me tell you, they will allow you to watch this without having to pay anything, but they would appreciate whatever you can do along those lines. And going from, I guess, from the sublime of Melissa Errico to the ridiculous, there's the Taylor Mac Holiday Sauce Show, Pandemic. And this is a $10 suggested donation. If you don't remember, Taylor Mac was the guy behind a lot of crazy drag shows that were up in New York, but he's also the genius behind Gary, the sequel to Titus Andronicus. He's a really wild character, and if you want a little bit of a holiday fun time with a little bit of a slant on some alternative things, Taylor Mac is the way to go.
All right. Thank you so much, Alan. And I think I'm about to talk about one of your favorite topics, and maybe mine too, and that is the Sazerac. Tim, welcome. You did a book on it. The drink. I love the name of the title, The Sazerac.
A lot of research, Peggy. I didn't mind doing it at all. I threw myself at the project.
I'm sure you did. But this has been one of your beverages. Uh-huh.
That's why it's appropriate right now to enjoy a Sazerac. Also because it's our very own. It's a New Orleans through and through.
And we're talking about from the 1800s, huh? One of the older drinks, isn't it? You know.
It is the oldest named cocktail in the world. So back in the days when there used to be cocktails before they put a name on them, you just went to a particular bar and had their whatever they came up with and their favorite, and you didn't have to call it anything. But after a while, a lot of bars, coffee houses, were serving the drinks, so they named this the Sazerac. It was named after a cognac Forge Fille, out of the Cognac region of France. And that was the first spirit used in the drink.
And of course, bitters is an important ingredient too, isn't it? Mm-hmm.
Well, Emile Peychaud, who was a New Orleanian by way of his family from Haiti, invented the bitters. He was a pharmacist, and so you use bitters in the drink, in medicine also to make it taste better. Mm-hmm. But he created Peychaud bitters on Royal Street. Right there in the French Quarter.
And Tim, the other ingredients would have been maybe absinthe a while back, but now herb saint or some kind of, herb saint is kind of a substitute for absinthe, isn't it? Yeah.
Well, it meant to be that way when absinthe was thought to be banned, and historically it never really was, but everybody thought it was. In 1905, America was the first nation in the world to, quote, ban absinthe. We went to Pernod as the substitute. And then after Prohibition in 1933, 1934, the Legendre family of New Orleans created herb saint, based on a flavor they knew when they were in World War I in France, and they wanted to replicate that flavor to put into a Sazerac.
Of course, in your handy-dandy little book here, you've got the ingredients, of course, and the recipe. You also include the old-fashioned, because I guess that would be my number 2 favorite drink. But there are a few variations on it. Usually, it's always, though, with the Sazerac, it's always rye whiskey. And I've seen various whiskeys to be used, Old Overholt, but here we use the Sazerac rye whiskey, don't we?
Well, we use both. Old Overholt is used at Galatoire's exclusively, unless you ask for Sazerac. Mm-hmm. And you're right, the rye whiskey, and I didn't know your second favorite is Old Fashioned. That's not the reason it's in the book, but I'm glad you like it. But I tried to use derivative drinks. So back in those days, there were drinks that were sort of almost like the drink you were having, but they were just one ingredient off. And which is also the reason, to me, that I find the Sazerac so fascinating, is that over the years, just about every ingredient in the original Sazerac, except for Peychaud bitters, has been substituted, but it still has its name.
Absolutely. And we would be remiss if we didn't mention Sazerac House, which is kind of the temple to the Sazerac right there in that beautifully restored building on Canal Street next to, I guess it's the Sheraton. That place, I'm sure you had fun hanging out there with all of your preparation for the book and the photos too, huh?
Well, it is a great spot to go in and learn about history of the cocktails and New Orleans. And it's a marvelous, they did a beautiful job on that. Bill Goldring and his group spared no expense. It's historically pretty fascinating.
Yeah. Well, congratulations, Tim. So excited for you. And you told me it's doing pretty well, huh? So that's very good news. We always like to hear that.
I think a lot of people want a taste of New Orleans, and here it is, right here. You can get it and do it right, and I like it because when I get to travel, I want to do it right, and it's always been difficult to get it done. So I think we're going to be okay with this.
Well, thanks for doing it. Thank you so much. And, while Benny Grunch and the Bunch are best known for their 12 Yats of Christmas song and their albums, of course, this year there's a new song called KB Was Open Christmas. Thanks to WWL and producer Dominic Massa, along with photographer Tom Moore, for depicting Benny's latest creation.
KB was open Christmas, KB was open Christmas, KB was open Christmas, and all day on New Year's. KB was open Christmas, KB was open Christmas, KB was open Christmas, and all day on New Year's. Medicines of all description for any condition. Pick up Mama's prescription, and we're not done. Get your sweeties Funny Valentine and Mogan David grape wine. That'll get her every time. Ice cream out one. Cherry, vanilla, peach, chocolate, marshmallow. King Creole cream and vanilla praline. Butter, pecan, berry, Napoleon. Fudge, ripple, rocky road. Oh, it's all gone. Aftershave for Pop's chin chin. Fizzy stuff to soak his teeth in. Don't forget his K&B gin and a large tube of Gleam. Face creams for the whole night. Roll-ons to make you smell right. Pantyhose to hold the skin tight. Look, magazines. TV Guide, Home and Gardens with modern romance. Foreign cars, field and stream. Learn how to dance. Crosswords and comics. Tweety Pie and Sylvester. Study electronics, there's a TV tube tester. Nectar soda for a nickel. King Burger with a pickle that made your tongue tickle. Let's go upstairs. Downtown, the Canal Store sold cameras on the 3rd floor. Penny scaled by the front door. Got my harmonica with me. Register at checkout. Your receipt had purple printout. Purple matches for your cookout. Can't miss employees. Purple socks, purple laces. Mardi Gras Day, purple faces. Purplest of all places was OKNB. KB was open Christmas.
And Benny's 30th anniversary CD is available at bennygrunch.net. And by the way, he can get it to you, after Christmas as well. It's always available. So just go there to the website, of course. And I did notice Flirty Girl in there and Kathy Savoy, too. Anyway, really, really fun. Back to Poppy, though, with looking ahead to New Year's. Huh?
New Year's Eve plans. It's a very strange year this year. So there's actually a lot of reservations available around and about town. And there's a very special dinner that's going to be going on at Pesh that's just $75 a person. Chef Nicole Mills is the chef de cuisine there, and she's from the Philippines. So she is digging into her old family recipes for a very special 5-course meal that's going to start with tuna ceviche. There's going to be a grilled snapper and banana leaves. It's going to be lovely. Spring rolls with sweet chili sauce. That's a great idea. There's reservations available at Herb Saint. There's a pretty much all seafood menu at Koshan. But what about New Year's Eve to go? So at Cochon Butcher, great deal. You can get a whole flounder for New Year's Eve, or you can get the New Year's Day in the South, which is all the things we're looking for: onion braised pork and black-eyed peas and braised cabbage, and that's just $45 for 2 people. Great, great deals. And they're popping up everywhere, these New Year's Eve specials. I just read today, Brennan's will deliver a party box to your house on New Year's Eve with a lot of champagne and all sorts of sweet and savory treats. So just keep looking on Instagram. Lots of choices, whether you're going out or staying in.
All right, thank you so much. And Doug, I know that you have concerns, and we're still sort of looking ahead here with Carnival about the Mardi Gras Indians, a true New Orleans tradition there, huh?
Yes, the Mardi Gras Indians, which are also called Black Masking Indians, are sort of in limbo this year. They would be at this, at this season, they would be practicing chants. They would be working late in the night, sewing patches for their suits. But all of that is, when will you get to march again? Because of COVID, of course. Monk Boudreaux, who I spoke to last week, said he planned to just let it roll by this year and live to fight another day. And that seemed to be the general consensus of the half a dozen people I spoke to. And the more troubling even than that is that this is the second time that the Mardi Gras Indians will be robbed of their carnival tradition, because last year they had, as the song tells us, made a new suit for Mardi Gras morning, but that's only one of 4 or 5 times that they get an opportunity to wear it. They would wear it at Super Sunday, they would wear it on St. Joseph's Night, they would possibly wear it at Jazz Fest. Last year all of that was canceled, so they made suits that were only used in one instance, which is unusual. Some of the maskers that I talked to were up in the air. Maybe there would be a small barbecue and people could wear an old suit. Others have called it off entirely. And there was a sort of a cautionary tale that I discovered speaking to people, and that was wild man Marvin Belial and his son. Belial became very ill with COVID. There were people, there was reason to think he wasn't going to make it. And poignantly, his son, Wyatt, prayed to his Indian suit for his father's recovery, and days later his father did indeed recover. But I think Belial would tell you that it's not worth the risk.
Yeah, okay, wow. It's so sad, the prospect of them not coming out. They work so hard. And a lot of people don't realize about the St. Joseph's Night, too, and they miss that as well.
Right.
Yeah, and a lot of money goes into it, too, and they do it all by hand.
Oh, yes.
Just a reminder,
thousands of dollars,
Yeah. Yeah. All right, Doug, thank you so much. And back over to Alan. We're still into the holiday programming mode here, aren't we?
Right. Well, A.J. Allegra, who's the artistic director of the NOLA project, is actually at the helm of A Christmas Carol, but this one is R-rated. It's not for the kids. If you want to check it out, this is the pod plays that they've been putting out. And again, as we mentioned, each of the single pod plays is $10, or you can get all 4 for $35, and they're available for an entire year period. So if you decide you want to see, or listen to one now, or maybe go back and listen later on, you're available to do that for the all 4 $35 rate. But A Christmas Carol by A.J. Allegra tends to be, I would imagine, a little bit on the racy side. So I haven't heard it myself yet, but I am looking forward to getting an opportunity to check it out for myself. Also, as far as Christmas availability, even though, today being Christmas, it's not all over. You can actually continue your Christmas celebration with Shoshana Bean. Now, Shoshana has something called Sing Your Hallelujah. There's Gavin Creel, but she also has Jeremy Jordan on, and she has a number of other great stars from Broadway. Of course, Shoshana was very famous for having taken over one of the main roles in Wicked, and as Elphaba, of course, from Idina Menzel. She, of course, was a great voice on Broadway. She proves that she's fantastic still, and is a $30 on-demand availability through January the 9th. Of course, it's very interesting because Shoshana, like I am, is Jewish, and so she incorporates some of her feelings about being Jewish and celebrating the holiday, and it's really very well done. She even incorporates Hatikva, the Israeli national anthem, as a way of getting people to understand her connection to the holiday. Also, you know, Peggy, we have been talking about all year long the Seth Rudetsky concert series. Well, coming up this Sunday is going to be Kerry Butler. Kerry was involved with his Disaster, the musical. But Kerry, you may remember, was also in Catch Me If You Can, a number of other roles on Broadway. She's a great singer, a wonderful star on Broadway. She's going to be seen on the 27th again at night, and then again they'll repeat it the following day on Monday, the 28th. That's that weekly series. And don't forget, you can catch any of the shows previously that they have in a package for $15 each if you get it in that entire package of 16 shows, or you can do it individually for just $20.
Thank you so much, Alan. And now time for our picks of the week. Poppy.
Need something to do with the kids? Well, Ann Lloyd at Nolavore has a holiday cookie camp that's going to take place Tuesday the 29th, Wednesday the 30th. Go to nolavore.net to learn more. Great things for those 4th to 7th graders.
Thank you, Doug.
Book that I'm glad I didn't miss this year called Giacomo by Shane Leaf and John McCusker. It traces, uses the term Giacomo to trace Mardi Gras Indian customs all the way back to the Native American roots. It's fascinating.
All right, thank you. Alan.
More Jewish Christmas. What could be more important than that? If you want to have Christmas with Chinese dinner, that's a very, very funny thing that goes on for Jewish households. Kung Pao Kosher Comedy is on. It's $25, up to a $50 donation. There are some charities that are involved in this, but it's comedy, and they're doing this now for the 28th year. This is the first time they've gone virtual, of course, because of the pandemic, but I recommend it. Check it out.
All right, thank you. And check out Mike Williams's beautiful landscape paintings at Cole Pratt Gallery. Wishing you all a brighter new year. And look for the Bethlehem Star on the internet if you missed it. Thank you all. Thank you, Tim. And thank you, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Happy New Year. Goodbye.
Merry Christmas.
Support for Steppin Out comes in part from the Kristovich family in honor of Mary Lou and Bill Kristovich. This program is sponsored in part by the Eugenie and Joseph Jones Family Foundation, a local foundation proud to support the arts and culture in the greater New Orleans area.